Hey everybody, welcome back to Fly Tying Tuesdays. My name is Steve. Today we're going to keep it really simple. This is another John Newbery pattern called the Big Pink Czech Nymph. Rather, it's my take on that pattern. So because it's going to be super simple and quick once we get into it, I'm going to take a little bit of time to gab on the front end, so bear with me. Obviously this is a pattern that's not extremely flashy or extravagant or complex, but the reason that I like it and the reason that I think it's important to talk about some concepts with this pattern is that I see a lot of people making some mistakes when they first get into Euro nymphing with going extremely heavy, super oversized beads, really, associating dredging with nymphing. And yeah, there's a time and a place for everything, but most of the time, trout do not want to look down for their food. They're not oriented that way. If they did forage along the substrate, they would have downward phasing mouths the way that suckers and other bottom feeders do, but instead, they're not really oriented that way. So it's good to not be overweighted. It's good to have simple, slender, buggy looking patterns that aren't just a massive bead on there. A lot of folks believe that trout simply eat the bead when you're using those really big, kind of oversized, flashy, slotted tungsten beads. So if you want to fool them with a bug, this is a great one to do it. Let's get into it. The hook that we're putting into the vise is a new brand for us. We're really excited to add Hanak to our lineup. A bunch of new products on the site. We'll be talking about a few of them here today. This is the H333BL. It's a nice, super sharp, barbless Czech Nymph hook. The thread is our beloved Semperfli Nano silk in black. Great for being super strong, not building up bulk. And we're just going to put a base down to do our lead, which is our first material here. Doesn't have to be pretty underneath here. So here we have a flat lead wire from Hends. This is another great brand that we've brought in a variety of their products. The nice thing about the flat wire is that you can add weight to a pattern without building up bulk. That's another crucial aspect to maintaining contact and getting, the fishability that you want out of a Euro pattern, without being totally overweighted and out of proportion with the way that you tie it. One thing to remember here is that the flat lead is pretty thin. Lead already is pretty brittle. So if you overwork it or pull too tight, especially with something like this nano silk, you're gonna cut it. So get to where you want, then go ahead and pull and kind of clean things up here, secure it down. There's a couple different configurations of how you could put on this flat lead. You can do what I'm doing here and just put a layer straight over the spine of the hook. You could also double that up and make a little bit of a lead pyramid to kind of get more of a scud shape out of it. You could even tie it down the shank and then wrap it up the way that you would with traditional round lead wire. But for the pattern that we're doing here today, like I said, it being really simple and slender with a profile that's not going to get caught up in a lot of the current, that's kind of like the key aspect to this kind of style of a simple Czech nymph. Next, we're going to tie in our ribbing. That's just a little bit of old 5X Tippet. Definitely don't go using the new nice stuff. Just grab whatever you have laying around. Doesn't have to be special. We just want it to secure that scud back material that we're going to use. The scud back is the Wapsi Sow-Scud back. This is the 2mm size in the shrimp pink color. Just pull that taut so it's less of a buildup of material for you. Nice thing about this is it's pretty durable. You can manipulate it however you want it. Without doing too much damage, really. And then just kind of clean up your overall profile. Make sure you got the shape that you're trying to achieve. And now we'll go ahead with our dubbing. This is another new material that we're really excited about. Over 20,000 products listed on the website right now with all the new stuff that we've been adding lately, which is really cool. And this right here is the UV tracer dubbing. So the color we have is the raspberry wine. It's kind of a mix of dark and light shades of kind of a pinkish purplish color. And the nice thing about it is if you want to add some pop and flair to a pattern without having to use all the super synthetic stuff that's kind of slippery like ice dub, that can be a little bit tricky to work with without a lot of dubbing wax, or sometimes it can kind of come unfurled when it's on a collar or a hot spot. The nice thing about this is it grabs pretty well and does have quite a nice UV flash to it. So I'll hit it with the torch at the end here and kind of show you guys what I mean. Start building up that body, but again, you're keeping it super slender and simple. Just add a little bit more here to finish it off, but you definitely want to leave room to get a nice clean head on there when you're all said and done. So now I'm going to secure that scud back material. Anytime you're tying the material all the way from the back up to the front, that's going to then be ribbed. You do want to try to get it to hug the tire's side, so that way when you rib it, it'll push it up onto the center of that spine of the fly. So I'm going to kind of pull it taut. I got 2 loose wraps on there, so I can kind of manipulate things and get them where I want them, just to my side. Pull down tight, and then I'll just do a little half hitch in front. And now we can come and rib with that tippet and kind of have things take shape for us here. In the home stretch now. So we'll just capture that, and then once we trim it out, we'll kind of build up a nice clean little head there with the rest of the real estate we have. And I'm going to grossly simplify a concept from my friend Dominic Swintowski at Trout Bitten. Great resource for learning a whole bunch of stuff about this kind of style of fishing. And that's that fish are going to oftentimes look for reasons not to eat your fly. So if you keep it super simple like this, you're not going to give them any red flags. So again, this is a really easy way to fool a fish, not be fishing too deep, hanging up all the time, using grossly oversized bead. This is a proportional, kind of anatomically correct bug that's easy to tie, really quick and effective. You still get a little bit of the razzle dazzle that we like and enjoy with Euro nymphing. There's a good bit of pop again off that UV tracer dubbing. There you have it, the Big Pink Czech Nymph, my take on a John Newbery pattern. Don't fish too deep, guys. Fool them with a bug. This is a great one to do it.